everybody, this is SpeedHam from Bike Library TV, and today we're going to go through the first lap of my first ever road race, the KW Classic Road Race Sportif category. The course consists of 12.7 kilometer lap and with 4 different laps, and there's a group of 12 of us that's competing in this category. And yes, we are racing, Alain. A lone race as it turned out. At the very beginning, I'm a bit nervous. I couldn't clip in my shoes, but after a bit, I got into my shoes and got into my rhythm, and we're going at a very steady pace right now. The whole group consists of 12 people, with 9 of them from Waterloo Cycling Club, 2 of them from Independent, and 1 of them from Morning Glory Cycling Club. And as we're going through Broadway Street west to east downhill, we're all trying to get our speed right here and try to save some pedaling, as you can see. But the Alain, the Belgian missile, is still leading the whole group. And as we discussed before we started, we were going to take turns, and I wanted to actually go to the front and pull for a bit. But seems like the Belgian missile is doing a lot of work right off the bat, and not a lot of people want to do that much work. They just want to save their energy, and there's one guy just riding beside Alain, and number 187, who later on starting to pull away, is still riding comfortably behind the 2 guys at the front. And I'm just trying to get as close to the front group as possible. I don't know who is behind me, but at this point everybody is within a really small group. We're going at a really comfortable pace right now. Alain is looking around and he wants people to take charge, but as you can see, people are trying to draft away in the end, draft away behind him and just trying to stay comfortable. None of us, we want to burn our matches on our first race, and it's actually not only for my first race, it's also for Sean, the Hammer, and for a few other people. But we're just going through a single lane right now, and going really comfortably. Although there was a bit of hill, everybody's still going at a really good comfortable pace. Excuse me for not having a power meter showing you guys how much power I'm putting on and what's their speed, but I'm thinking right now we're going around 30 or 32 probably. Pretty comfortable. And as I said earlier, we're going with the wind, so it's pretty easy for us right now, and we're going downhill again. And nice little breeze. It's a great weather, and each lap is 12.5 meters long, but it's very hilly. The elevation for each lap is 155 meters, and throughout the whole course is around 620 meters elevation. As we're taking the corner right here, we're going to a downhill. I'm just trying to tuck in and try to get as much speed as possible, try to save our energy. But there's this guy came just behind me, and because there's a bit of gap, I opened up a bit of gap, but it's pretty easy to catch up because the guys at the front, they weren't really going that crazy of a pace. So we're going really nice, comfortably, and everybody is still feeling out the legs because none of us, we don't want to going 100% right off the bat and burn our matches, right? Those number plate, they're so hard not to flap. I tried twice to make sure those number plates don't flap around on my back, and I just want to make sure I'm as aerodynamic as possible. Right now we're going through the final stretch of the easy section, and Sean, the Hammer, coming through from my left. I'm driving really nicely, comfortable. The roads are not entirely closed, but there's police officers at each corner. It's a really nice little section and really nice little course right here, actually. It feels like we're just are the only people on the road right now. There is a nice little river. First, at the beginning of the race, everybody's taking it easy. We're singing along, chugging along, very relaxing, and going at our comfortable cadence. My cadence was probably around 85, but Alain, the Belgian missile, is going at a relatively good amount of cadence. Don't know how much it is, but anyways, I did a really nice bike fit. However, I don't know if I'm feeling uncomfortable on the drop or on the hood. I keep changing my position. It's not comfortable. I'm still feeling a bit nervous. I don't know if I should get to the drop right away or stay on the hood. But we're going uphill right now, and none of us are slowing down, to be honest. This is actually a bit surprising for me because it's my first time racing, and usually during club rides everybody will slow down on a hill, but here nobody's slowing down. Everybody just started to hammer the hill right off the bat, and I have to do it too. I'm just chugging along with the group, trying to make sure that I'm at a comfortable distance within the group so that I can get my drafting effect. That's they say. Within 20 meters there is a drafting effect, so but I'm just trying to get as close as possible to the group. There's a bit of gap between me and the guy in front, but as you can see right now, I'm getting very comfortable behind his wheel, almost touching his wheel. And right now we're going towards south direction, which is pretty much against the wind as well. And everybody still is taking it easy, and I believe we still have all 12 people in this group right now. Absolutely nobody wants to attack. Nobody wants to burn their matches right off the bat. So we're just enjoying the nice little weather, enjoy the nice little easy wind at our back, chugging along. This very short section is about to finish, and surprisingly to see some people still not paddling, but it was very comfortable pace for me, for everybody else as well. We're going around maybe 32 33 kilometers per hour, and at a single lane, and very comfortable. The group is starting to stretch now, actually, and Alain, the group captain, is nicely enough actually to turn around and see who's behind him, make sure all the group members are in there. But little do we know, it's starting to stretch, and we're coming to a very tricky section here. After this corner, this is a really tricky corner, because after this corner everybody started to take off and I'm not getting dropped, so I put my hammer down and just trying to get behind the next guy, and yeah, I'm so lucky it was really short. I was able to catch the group, still trying to stick around with the group. It was really surprising because all of a sudden after the corner everybody just started to accelerate, which is pretty normal, but again, it's my first race. I got surprised with the group against the wind, but it's pretty good because the group absorbs a lot of friction from the wind, and it's really comfortable for everybody just to chug along. Again, the guy at the front, he was pulling pretty much from the almost half of the course until now. He's still pulling, but everybody is still going nicely, comfortably in a group. So, and Sean, the hammer, is going at a very comfortable pace as well. I'm pretty much at my normal pace. And at this point, I think somebody at this group started to feel bored as we're coming to a hill. And we're going at an uphill right now, and the guy just started to attack. Everybody jumped a little bit, and none of us want to be dropped. So we started to bring our pace a little bit, and as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit right now because we're going uphill and we're going harder than flat, which is not good. And there's a little bit of gap right now, and I'm trying so hard to get back to the group. I'm probably at my maximum wattage, maybe around 300 watts. And it was a good half a minute of maximum watts until I catch a group. I really don't want to get dropped, because once you get dropped, you're pretty much done, right? And with the group, you're saving so much energy, you're getting so much more advantage, but it's so hard to get to the group. But once you get to the group, you're good. And I'm pretty good. I'm in my good shape right now. I'm going comfortably behind Sean the Hammer, chugging along on a flat course right now. But the guy at the front pulling, he was about to take off, unfortunately. You're gonna see. But everybody's still going pretty good, and he's trying to get people to pull. Everybody started to take turns. However, for me, I don't have that much energy, and after I try to catch up with my maximum wattage, I burned some matches, and I'm just trying to recover right now. This road is actually a bit of rough road, and there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of ongoing traffic, which is good for me because it slows down the people. So Sean the Hammer is taking charge right now. He's pulling, and but we're still going at a very, very good pace. It's very, very manageable right now. For me, it's a bit of more, it's borderline manageable for me. But number 187, he just takes off and messed up the whole pace. Me trying to get by and trying to stick with the group because it's a first lap. I don't want to get dropped at the first ever lap. However, 187 is going pretty hard right now, and it's just very, very surprised. It's full surprise. The first race, the first lap, for me, it's a lot of surprises. As we're approaching the intersection now, the road is getting a bit rough for slowing down, and I thought the group is gonna slow down a bit, but I was wrong. Actually, it's not slowing down. 187 is pulling away, as you can see, and the bunch just trying to catch him. And from this point on, they just went, and I had to ride by myself. Yes, and I just stare at them hopelessly and struggling so much. I was thinking, should I catch them up? Should I go 100%? But there's two other guys just took me over just now, and this power rider going at a cadence of 70 is pulling away from me, and I got messed up by his cadence, man. Like, my cadence usually is around 85 and 90, and he's just doing 70 cadence going on the hill. And as you can see, he's bending his back and just going through the whole thing with his power rider. And looking at that, it just get me confused. And I just got confused for a long time without realizing that I gotta stick to them. But at that point, I'm still trying to recover from that section where they pulled away. Just like that, I was doing my own rides throughout the rest of my first ever lap. I actually do a lot of self-riding, different from most people who likes group riding. I tend to enjoy riding by myself because I can go wherever I wanted and rest wherever I wanted. So it doesn't really affect me so much. It's quite enjoyable actually. And this course, I actually live close by, so I go here a lot. So coming up to a small little hill, I was on a big chainring. Small chainring is for wimps, but I was struggling on a big chainring on this small little hill, which is very, very surprising. I'm so struggling to find the right gear on all sorts of hills, and this one going through so many times I'm still struggling, which is a pain. So before the race, to prepare for this race, I made sure I had enough nutrition because I have to go on this hill, this Hawksville hill, 4 times. This is a really steep hill and I want to make sure I have enough energy. So on Friday and Saturday, I ate spaghetti and fettuccine with meatballs. So 2 straight days of pasta, carb loading, and on Sunday I had a huge breakfast. So I think I overloaded myself because I felt a bit bloated going through that hill and also going through that little downhill as well, and going through this flat section before the hill. I'm just feeling really bloated and didn't feel my legs so much. Normally I have a lot of power on my legs. So speaking of this hill, it's not too big of an elevation, but it can be a bit steep. It's a Hawksville hill and it's 0.5 kilometer long, 500 meter, elevation of 29 meters throughout, 5.6% average gradient with maximum gradient of 14%. And if you're going through the corner, there is actually a sign of truck falling and it says 14%. So it's rather steep, and I had to get off my saddle to climb this little hill and getting completely out of breath. It's a very steep hill and it can get pretty steep at the end as well. I went through this hill. I think my best time was 1 minute and 27 seconds, and the KOM is 51 seconds. So not that long, but it's very steep, and I really enjoyed the crowds after I conquered this Hawksville hill during my race, because the crowds beside the hill, they will cheer you up and they will say, "Good job, let's go, almost there." And when you reach the top, there's another crowd saying that, "Oh, the worst is gone, yay, almost to the end." Just to make you feel better, right? And when you're dropped by the group, you really tend to enjoy those people beside you. And so yeah, I really enjoy the crowds during that day. I really felt encouraged whenever I went to that hill. I know that there's people who's gonna cheer for me. They actually gave me some energy. So after this hill, I'm going through a nice little downhill. I could potentially reach to a really fast speed, but that day it's pretty windy from the west. So I was enjoying this nice little windy downhill, entering into Hawksville. And speaking of Hawksville, county of Wellesley, it's actually noted for their custom-built furniture industry. It's a nice little town, and they're known for building furnitures. And actually, Hawksville itself is home to 3 furniture businesses: the Shervin Custom Woodworks, Hawk Woods Custom Furniture, and Homestead Woodworks. I passed through this area a lot, this Hawksville town, and I found a lot of nice little factories. beside those nice little country roads and the fast descent. So it's very nice little town, and I believe they're represented by the Conservative Party during the election. Anyways, so now coming to the end of the downhill, it's another uphill. I didn't know if I have enough energy. I think I got to my small chain ring, grinding away, trying to finish this hill. Oh my goodness, I'm working so hard on my first ever lap. Thank God for those spaghettis. And I'm actually surprised. At this corner there's a police officer. It got me confused, and I don't know if I should have turned at that point because I knew there was a police officer at each corner. It got me confused a little bit. But speaking of police officer, because I was biking the whole race pretty much by myself, and I said hi to all the police officers every time when I passed through those corners. And I actually had one funny encounter where I was approaching a corner and a police officer was stopping a car from going, and the guy wanted to drive over, but the cop just yelled out, "I said no!" And I was like, wow, yes. It's about time the cyclist owns the road. And I felt good. I really felt good because we're racing and the officer were there, guarding our routes. It's really great. And also, there's a photographer taking photos of everybody, including myself. Although I was riding by myself, I was quite slow. He was taking nice photos of everyone every time, and I make sure that I looked good for him every time I passed him by. I remember on my last lap, I give him a big peace sign. I'm not sure if he actually caught it. I really need to find him for my nice little photos. Nobody has ever taken me for nice little cool riding photos, except for that guy. He has those long, big lenses. So I enjoyed that, the photographer. So finally, I'm approaching the second last corner, this roundabout. This roundabout was under construction last year, and usually I go through here and then make a nice little loop, but it was closed for a whole year, and I'm really happy that they made a roundabout here. And this section is pretty flat. Supposedly usually you can get a bit of speed here, but that day it's very windy and the wind is coming from north. I was getting slower at this point, but it's a last stretch, right? And I just wanted to quickly finish my first lap. I actually remember during that time, my mind was thinking of a lot of things, and I was like, you know what, should I try 120%, 200%, try to catch the group that just went off at this point? I thought about that, but it's too hard to catch them at this point, right? And it's really frustrating, but at this point I still thought I was the last. I wasn't the last. There's actually another guy behind me, and we end up work together for around half a lap, and then I was able to go faster than him, going out doing those hills. I weigh a bit light, but anyways, approaching the finish line. There is a nice little party here. It's a cycling race, but they have really nice stuff. They have hot dogs, they have cookies. There's some bike shops where their tents open, and it's very nice and friendly atmosphere. It's my first time doing a race, and I really enjoyed their atmosphere here. It's pretty cool, and people are just cheering you on whenever you pass by. They clap for you, and it's really awesome. This is the Hawksville Community Center. This is where we got our numbers plate. It's awesome that I'm passing through the finish line on my first ever lap of my first race. So that was it. That was the first ever lap. I got taken over by elite and master group. I want to show you how fast they were. Here is some footage. With that being said, thank you for watching the first ever lap of my first race. You can see other videos in my channel for some bike reviews and some other fun stuff. Thanks for watching and peace!